Welcome back, everybody, to the HealthU Watch, brought to you by Alaska Regional Hospital. We're here at the Aspen Creek Senior Living, and I'm your host, Seth, and we're talking to Anna today, the Executive Director. Thanks for joining us today, Anna.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so you guys are kind of the experts in senior living, and we're in a time right now when activities and health and wellness are on the top of everybody's mind, obviously, because of this COVID thing. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys do here and sort of how you keep people healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not a medical facility, but we work with doctors and families to make sure that all of the daily needs of our residents are met. So that would be things like showering and toileting and transferring, making sure they're getting 3 meals a day, they're getting dressed, they're getting some socialization. So we do have a full schedule of activities every day that they can choose from, and we do meals in our dining room, and that social activity is really huge.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the importance of nutrition, good nutrition, how that relates to mental health and obviously physical health.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a nutritionist that we work with that creates our menu, and that menu can be adapted for people who need soft foods, no salt, low sugar because they're diabetic. All of those factors play into health, and water being a big piece of that, right? Making sure that we're always pushing fluids and making sure that everybody is hydrated, because they kind of hit this point at this stage where honestly a lot of them don't even recognize that they're hungry or feel thirsty, and so that's our job, is to remind them, hey, we've got to get some nutrients in you, we've got to push fluids and make sure that you are still going to the bathroom regularly,
especially when as it gets drier and colder out. It's so for people at home, is there any tips you could give them that are kind of like something they could take home now about nutrition, like whatever you guys kind of take here and kind of take it home and be able to utilize that?
Yeah, so there are definitely different nutritional needs for the elderly. They metabolize nutrients differently. And so we make sure that it's very well-rounded, lots of, obviously, still like everybody else, fruits and veggies.
Yeah, colorful plate.
Yeah, soft meats. But here's the thing, too, about the elderly. As they age, they struggle to create saliva. And so most of the foods that you are going to be serving need to have moisture. They need to have like a gravy or a sauce or something that's going to help them to get that down, because their mouth doesn't produce it, and as they're chewing it just gets really dry in there. So
that's great
advice.
Lot
of the food, there's a lot of graves and sauces, and they'll tell you there's never enough. You've always got to add more.
I mean, I'm a gravy and sauce and condiments
guy.
Right,
who isn't?
You mentioned activities, and I think that's something that's a big part of what you guys do here, and a big part of what people at home could do before they get into this place, or if they have a loved one who's getting to that age, to get out and walk with them and do things with them. What are some of the things that people can do with their loved ones to keep them active?
Yeah, so even outside of like assisted living, which we have a calendar of activities that we allow anybody can come to. Like if you wanted to come in and look at our calendar and attend some activities, we would say welcome, please come in. There's the senior center. There's like adult daycares, is what they're called, but there's different places. A lot of people get in their house and they think, I'm fine, I don't need that anymore. But then when you take them out and you socialize them, they realize that that's a huge piece they've been missing.
Yeah.
Like these are like-minded people who've had very similar experiences. They've lost spouses, children, like super hard life events. And they are like, hey, I'm not alone in this, and they come here and they're like, I never thought I was going to have friends or create friendships at this stage of my life.
So there's a huge social component.
The social component is really, even through COVID, when we were trying our hardest not to quarantine people, it was because that social interaction is huge.
Yeah,
like
happiness.
Mentally, they start to like go downhill mentally. They don't process as fast. There's all kinds of things that happen when they're not communicating with other people and having conversations and just getting that stimulation.
Okay. And you guys have like a movie theater?
We have a movie theater,
Yeah.
so there's movies, there's bingo, there's the regular, movies
Yeah.
and bingo.
Yeah.
And,
Do you have yoga and stuff like that?
We have an activity in the gym almost every day, whether
Okay.
it's gentle yoga or stretching, or we have small weights, so they'll do like some weight. It's all seated.
Okay, and anybody can attend this?
Anybody can attend it,
For
yeah.
free?
Yep,
Yeah,
we
just to
love
try it out?
Yeah, we would love it. Come in, spend some time, just see what goes on here, and that it's a great place. It's fun.
Yeah.
They have a good time.
And I've heard like video games can help cognitively with as you age. What are some things that you guys do that help keep the people kind of like social is
Yeah,
huge,
they do
like
love
talking.
we actually do Wii Sports, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
we have a Wii, and they think it's hilarious,
That is
and there's like
awesome.
Wii
I
bowling
would
and
love to see
tennis,
this.
and it's actually pretty entertaining. Yeah, they have fun with that.
Cool. So Anna, if you're somebody who's taking care of a loved one, or you have a loved one that you're kind of worried about leaving at home potentially, like what are some of the signs that you look for to know whether it's time to come to a facility like this?
Honestly, I think it's going to be different for every person. There's no like one sign that's going to say like, oh, this is it. But as a family member, it's important that when you start the process of looking for somewhere for your family, that you realize that you're not abandoning them. You're not like
The guilt.
There's no guilt involved. It
could be
shouldn't
some
be like
guilt
I'm
associated.
no longer taking care of them. That's the whole point of assisted living, is that we are able to help with the daily tasks, and then leave the role of loved one and family member back where it should be, right? Like as a son, you feel like, oh, maybe I should be taking care of mom. But the reality is that becomes a strained relationship, and it becomes very difficult, and it's very stressful on both, mom and caregiver. So,
is there some place people can go to kind of figure out if they're in this category?
Yeah,
like if they're at that
absolutely.
point?
You can always call us.
Okay.
You can call probably any of the facilities in town, the communities, and just ask questions. And that's the best way to go about it. Like I have a question. I want to know, is this the right time? And then we can talk to you about what the needs are right now. Like, what are you seeing? What does mom's life look like every day? What does a day in the life of mom look like? And then how would we help to alleviate some of that stress and take the burden off of you, so that you can just have that relationship again, wherein, you're enjoying one
each
another.
other.
Yeah. And it's not
like
about the care, it's about, that family love. So we'd love to answer questions. We're happy to help in any way in that process.
I think this facility really is a part of the community, and I thank you for talking to us today.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the time. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Like one last thing you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think one thing that's important when people are considering like moving in, not just our facility, but any facility, is that as they age and they become, they're losing their ability to move, and they can't drive anymore. Like all these little things that have always been a part of their life are kind of being taken away. And what happens is we wait too long to introduce them to like assisted living.
I see.
And at that point, they're like, that's one more thing. Now you're taking away all my independence, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to give up that last thing that I have. So it's actually better to bring them in earlier, when they have a say in it, when they're more cognitively aware of what's going on, and they're still independent enough that they have a say in that, and they feel like they have power. But we wait way too long, right?
Yeah.
Like we feel guilty. We're like, we should keep them at home as long as possible.
Yeah, that's really good
I don't want to
advice.
put them in a home. But it's a great place, and it's something that they all end up enjoying, as scared as they are to come. But I think I would just say, wherever you're looking, whatever facility you're looking at, look sooner. I think Alaskans are fiercely independent, and the trend is that they wait too long. They want to keep their loved one at home with them as long as possible. And it's not, they do it a lot at a much higher rate than the lower 48, who looks for help a lot sooner.
Got it. That's great advice. Again, thank you so much for sitting down with all of us today. I hope everybody at home got the value out of this and took some things away that they can actually take home and do tonight. Thank you everybody at home for watching the HealthU Watch brought to you by Alaska Regional Hospital. If we're giving away a prize, the link is in the caption. Click that link, type in the secret phrase, and that'll enter you to win the prize for the week. Thanks again everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week.